Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Friday, June 17th. Do have some strong winds arriving throughout the day. Could lead to some patchy blowing dust across the Snake Plain. We do have some mountain precipitation working in through the weekend with some continued breezy winds, and we'll be taking a look at that this morning. Some keyboards we're going to focus on today. Due to the warm and dry conditions through about Saturday, so we'll have high temperatures in the 80s to mid-90s, especially today and tomorrow. Rivers and soil streams will remain elevated due to those warm temps and some recent snowmelts, something to keep in mind for that. But we do those strong winds, which is going to be the more impactful thing today. So with those temperatures in the mid-90s, we also have a wind advisory in effect from 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Mainly impact areas for those strong and gusty winds. Mainly that patchy blowing dust is going to be around our interstate corridor system. Precipitation returns Saturday afternoon through evening hours through about Monday. We're seeing about a valleys, not looking at a whole lot down low, but as you get into our northern mountains, especially in the central mountains, looking at a decent, about a quarter to 3/4 of an inch, if not higher in some locations. And what that means is we will see some accumulating snowfall, generally above 8,500 feet in the north and east mountain ranges, and afternoon highs do cool back to below seasonable temperatures in the 50s to low 70s for your Sunday and Monday. Precipitation heads out Monday to our northeast, and we're looking at a prolonged period of fairly warm and dry conditions setting up for late June. Satellite this morning, we do have that upper level ridge feature that's going to be headed further east today. You can see these few clouds kind of working up through Utah right now. Could see a few showers with those as they clip the southeast and eastern portions of the state today. And maybe a little bit of afternoon thunderstorm activity in western Wyoming. But for everybody else, it's going to be staying dry with those gusty winds being the bigger threat. And a little bit of bigger picture. So we do have that high pressure system, and as you can see, those clouds kind of working up from Utah as a short wave kind of kicks off along the Continental Divide. But we do have this area of low pressure that's going to be working into our area. It's an impressive feature, kind of pulling in a lot of the moisture and clouds kind of throughout the day. And we'll see that continue to track east and kind of favor our mountain areas. So once this kind of gets overhead here, we'll kind of get some wraparound precipitation bands, especially in the central mountains, which will help to amplify some of the QPF and snowfall totals in that area. Weather risk outlook for today, mainly concerns are going to be those gusty winds with some blowing dust concerns across some of our lower elevations. And through the weekend, we do have the continued chances for some precipitation, mainly looking at some, chance for some showers today in western Wyoming, but keeping fairly dry across southeast Idaho. But for Saturday and Sunday, showers and widespread, high elevation snow in the central mountains moves in for the later part of Saturday into Sunday, with the best chance for that widespread on Sunday. For Monday, we're looking at those showers as they depart to our northeast, a little bit holding on in the eastern highlands for some showers throughout the day with some high elevation snow. But as it departs to the east, we should be looking at a prolonged period of fairly quiet weather Tuesday and beyond with above normal temperatures and dry conditions. Current watches, warnings, and advisories in effect. We do have a wind advisory in effect for large portions of southern Idaho. Wind advisory extending all the way from the Magic Valley, upper Snake Plain, all the way up to Salmon, and further north into Montana. We do have high wind watches and red flag warnings in effect for large portions of western United States. So something to keep in mind out there. We'll have very dry air with this system, especially today. And with those strong winds, fire starts are going to be fairly easy, even throughout our area as well. So just something to keep in mind. Hydrologic outlook. So we do have the rivers as far as those are starting to come down, but they are seeing a response due to some recent warm temps and snowmelt. And with that northern mountain precipitation this weekend, could see a little bit of a rain on snow event as those temperatures, allow for higher elevations to transition to snow. At least initially, might start off as rain, and that'll lead to just again increasing flows across our northern rivers and streams. Areas to watch right now, so we are at least monitoring a few areas. Main concern is going to be along the Big Wood River, Big Lost River, and some of the Antelope Creek areas as far as some of the forks as they head out of the central mountains over the next few days. These remain elevated as far as the, regionally for this time of year, so we're looking at, continued upticks over these for the next few days, and especially with that precipitation moving in for the weekend, it's going to be at least trending in the more positive direction for our small streams and basins over the next few days. Wildfire smoke plumes today is going to be pushed further northeast with those strong southerly winds. We have much of that haze and smoke kind of kicked out further north. But what will get replaced with that instead is blowing dust. So kind of pushing that threat further north with the smoke. But we will see at least some patchy blowing dust and a little bit more haze in the sky as a result of that today. Afternoon temperatures today trended up a little bit warmer from yesterday. So as a result of that, we do have lows starting off in the 50s to mid-60s and currently 75 degrees here at the Pocatello Airport at about 5 a.m. this morning. So fairly warm overnight temperatures. But as far as the afternoon highs today, we'll be climbing well into the 80s for many locations. Mid-90s, pushing about 95 degrees Pocatello through the Burley area. And it's going to be a fairly warm afternoon. And with those wind gusts like we had talked about, we have a wind advisory in effect for much of southeast and eastern Idaho. So we're looking at widespread wind gusts between 40 in excess of 55 miles an hour across the upper Snake Plain and on the leeward side of some of our higher elevation zones. So it's going to be very gusty winds today due to that wind advisory again in effect, and something to keep in mind as you're headed out the door. Temperatures for Saturday, so we do have the precipitation moving in and some cooler temperatures as we head towards Saturday. So afternoon highs for Saturday are back in the 70s to low 80s, so a little bit cooler than what we had forecasted for yesterday. So seeing a little bit of a warming trend for today and a little bit of a faster cooling trend for Saturday as we get some increased cloud cover and chances for precipitation throughout the day. Wind gust Saturday afternoon, that's going to shift further east. So as we have this upper level trough kind of shift further east of our region, the upper level jet is going to continue to push further east into Wyoming, and we'll have those winds as well corresponding with that. Strongest winds again across the higher terrain, mainly in the eastern highlands, central mountains, and southeast highlands. Temperatures on Sunday, so we're again seeing that cooling trend. Temperatures falling by about 10 degrees again. So starting off morning lows in the 30s to low 50s, with afternoon highs again in the 50s to near 70 degrees here in Pocatello. Wind gusts on Sunday staying slightly breezy, so as this feature kind of departs to our east, and we'll have pretty much widespread precipitation, especially in our mountainous regions, are going to see a little bit of breeziness conditions across the Snake Plain. Not a whole lot of precipitation again across our lower elevation zones, the Snake Plain south, but we will have plenty of wind to work with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures on Monday looking fairly cold. It's going to be around freezing up in the Stanley Basin area and in the 30s to mid 40s for low temperatures, but by the afternoon we do warm back up into the 50s to near 70 degrees for your Monday. And looking at the rain and snowfall amounts, so this is looking at Saturday through Monday. So not looking at anything here in the Snake Plain with that southerly moisture component. We're going to be shadowed here a lot in our southern lower elevation zones. But as you get further north with this low pressure system, we're going to get some wraparound kind of precipitation bands as it kind of fills in into our mountain areas. So we're looking at decent, pushing half an inch up in Chalice, Salmon, and through that area. So it's looking like a decent QPF producer up in the central mountains. And as far as looking at that snow levels, generally above 8,500 feet with this event. So no pass impact at this level, but we will see decent accumulating snowfall anywhere between 1 to 6 inches, maybe a little bit higher in the Lost River range, especially out towards Bora. Temperatures for Tuesday. So once that precipitation does depart to our northeast for Monday, temperatures do rebound. So we'll have another cold morning on Tuesday with mostly clear skies in the 30s to mid 40s. But by Tuesday afternoon, we're back in the 60s to near 80 degrees. And we'll continue to see that warming trend through midweek. And as we get towards the end of the week, could see that potential again for some widespread 80s to mid 90s as we get towards next weekend. And in summary today, due to that warm and dry conditions continuing through tomorrow, may see a few isolated showers and thunderstorms in western Wyoming, just along our border regions today, but nothing too impactful. High temperatures, going to be in the 80s to mid 90s for your Friday and into Saturday. Things do cool off a fair amount, but we will see those rivers and small streams remain elevated due to some warmer temperatures and some recent snowmelt. Do have a wind advisory in effect for today for some widespread wind gusts above 40 to 55 miles an hour. Could see some patchy blowing dust out there along some of our interstate corridors, but the main thing will be that precipitation is returning for your Saturday afternoon and evening. And that'll be being about a 48-hour period through Monday. Not looking at a whole lot of QPF down low, but as you get into our mountains, especially north and east of the Sawtooths, above 8,500 feet, we will see some accumulating snowfall and a decent QPF as well. Afternoon highs do cool back into the 50s to low 70s for Sunday and Monday, and we'll see that precipitation depart to our northeast on Monday with a prolonged period of some warm and dry conditions. Again, looking at some mid-80s, mid-90s as we get towards the end of next week. So fairly dry, ready to round out your June, but there is your weather briefing for today, Friday, June 6th, 17th. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome Friday.